King Simp Lord TVT. Fighting Spirit has replay issues. I feel like you're making some shit up, bro. True Billa, what up, dude? There's no way you'll run into another pleasant day laddering. Dude, is this, I changed the, is it better with having the chat like always show, you think, guys? I feel like it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe I should keep it to, what do you guys think? I am a noob. Relax, dude. Makes me feel powerful. Yeah. Good one, dude. Okay. I need some water, actually. Alright. I'm gonna watch this. Whoa. King Simplor, dude. We've got a 50 APM. Can't wait to watch this game. I'm gonna watch this once real quick and then I'll go back through it. Holy fuck. Got battle cruisers. Damn, that was a sick fucking game. What can I say to this? Let me think about it real quick. Keep in mind, no, relax, dude. It's totally fine. I'm not making, you know, I wasn't gonna say anything about your skill or anything. I thought you played quite well. Like you took bases, you added more factories as your economy grew. Like, you know, you tried scouting your opponent and stuff. Like here, you check his third. Like that's all good, man. This is all like good stuff, for sure. No, shut the fuck up, guys. I mean, I know okay, you guys might think I'm being all like, you know, nice or fucking PC or something about it, but I'm not autistic, right? Like, sure, I flame people when I play, and like, I'll be like, oh, this guy's fucking bad and whatever, but I understand that there's a process between starting the game and achieving a certain level. Like, you know, if you've never played the fucking game before, if you've played it a long time ago and you haven't really played like I've played RTS since I was 5, guys. I play RTS every single day of my fucking life almost. So, you know, like, I understand that people that don't fucking, you know, people whose lives are not fucking playing video games like me, like, they're not gonna be in the same level, but doesn't mean they're not like doing good things at their level. You know what I'm saying? Would you accept Insomniac replays? No, I wouldn't. Insomniac's a fucking retard. And that guy's a lost cause. So, it's hard for me to give you specific pointers. I think overall, like, this was fine. Obviously, this guy made a bunch of wraiths. And it didn't even catch you off guard because you made these turrets. So it's whatever, but it's something to think about that this guy made a bunch of wraiths, and maybe we didn't know we didn't know that it came. But in general, I feel like So I'll just look at this early game with you, real quick, and I want to really accentuate a couple points, right? So first of all, I want us to look at this command center and just look how. Hey, how you doing? Yo, what's up, Angry Mom? About 60 games. I played a total of a week. Yeah, that's really good, dude. Like you actually played really well. Like, trust me, dude. Like I know some players that have just started playing the game and they struggle, but I feel like what I saw really quick from you is that you're actually playing the game. You know, like expanding, making units, reacting to what the other player's doing. That's all good. You just need to play more. But what I would encourage, so this opening build seems pretty good. You shouldn't queue this marine, right? So think about maximizing your resources in the early game, really, is what I would say. Like, if you're a beginner, the biggest thing I would say is make sure you're always making SCVs, right? So let's look at this command center. Usually it's idle in the beginning, like right before the second depot finishes, because we need to, we need to save some money to put down our factory. Usually you want to put down your factory at 17 supplies, so your racks or your command center should not, like, you should get to 17, put down your factory, and then start making stuff out of these two, okay? So that's the first thing. But after we put down our supply depot, or our factory, this command center should basically never stop blinking, right? Look at how much time is passing between before we start making SCVs, right? Okay. Right, so let's look at this real quick. Right. Okay, so we put down the factory now at 255, right? At 310 we start making an SCV, right? So that's like 25 seconds. This SCV would have been done and we would have had like one SCV already halfway in queue, right? But this probably won't be the only time, right? So just wait. So this is good. We keep making SCVs. This is good. Okay, again, there's idle time, right? Okay, now we queue SCVs. But notice that idle time should never be there. There's idle time on our factory, right? Put down the machine shop, that's okay. I don't really care about the build order, right? Like, I just want to look at at how we're managing our base, right? So also notice that we have 300 minerals, 300 gas. Why? Right? Like we're floating money, but for no reason. So either put down a second factory or pull SCVs off until you put down a command center, right? This extra SCVs here, they're adding nothing to your build order right now on gas because you're not putting down a second factory, right? So here you want to put down your command center. It's really about maximizing these resources. And like I know maybe as a beginner, actually let me just keep going through this replay real quick. So again, there's idle time. I understand that you put down a command center, that's okay. So right now we have like 400 gas, right? Yeah, I get it. I know that you were saving, for sure I know, simpler, right? But look, right now we have 500 gas, right? And there's nothing making from our factory. Like we don't have money to make out of these buildings because we have 500 gas. Do you know what I mean? So it's all kind of idle, but okay, it resumes. So still idle because we got siege mode. That's okay, I get it. But you really want to prioritize making SCVs in the early game, 100%. Especially as a beginner. Later, like as you get better, you'll learn to cut SCVs to get other buildings out faster, or get techs up faster, or get specific units out faster to defend stuff. But because at a lower level, the timings aren't as sharp, you don't want to be cutting SCVs ever. I think I would say, yeah. If you do this build that you're doing, one factory command center, you put down your factory, right? So you mine gas until you get 100 gas, put down your factory. So you mine gas until you get 100 gas, then you pull 2 off your gas. Put down your factory, put down your command center and your depots, then you put it, after you've built your command center and your depot, you put your SCVs back on gas, if that makes sense. Or alternatively, you put your SCVs back on gas when you start your machine shop. That's also a good way to think about it. So while your factory is building, you're not mining gas because you don't need it, because you're saving up minerals for this command center, if that makes sense, right? Yo, Runny CH, what's up, dude? We'll watch your replay after this, I guess. Let me know if there's something that doesn't sound right to you, or if you disagree with something, or if you don't understand what I'm trying to say. But I really think it's important. So when you're learning the game, there's no point in thinking about strategy. The strategy doesn't come until your execution, your build orders are flawless, because a lot of the strategy in Brood War revolves around executing build orders properly. So when both players are executing build orders properly, and when both players have good mechanics, that's when strategy starts mattering more. But in a game like this, you can kill this guy with just making units, right? So I'm on the same page in learning. Okay, cool. Like if I were to play this guy, I wouldn't, like, it, no matter what I did wouldn't matter. I would just make more units than him and I would kill him. And even in the early game, I would probably just kill him with the opening build, because my build would just be much more refined, right? If that makes sense. This guy didn't seem too bad at all, actually. So, but I just want you, when you watch these replays, I just want you to notice. So you're actually really good. I mean, you're making SCVs. Like, there wasn't too much idle time on this so far, right? 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in. We're taking our expansion, which is okay. But again, look at how much money we're floating. 500, 400. You want to keep this as low as possible, always, in the beginning. Right now, we could have 2 factories building, or we could have had our second factory already done, or we could have starboards building, right? Look at this guy's base. He basically did an identical build order to us, right? He did a factory expand, but he already has 2 starports making with wraiths making, right? So overall, he's just going to have more shit than you, for no other reason than you not spending your money, You know what I mean? So right now we could have 3 factories. We could have 1 port 1 factory. We could have 2 port 1 factory. We could have an armory in a couple of factories. So there's a lot of stuff that we could have, right? And when you're watching your replay, I just want you to notice these things. Like, am I making units? Am I spending my money early game? But so far out of this, so now again, there's some idle time on the, seriously, if you watch pros, I mean, sometimes they will cut specific SCVs at certain times. Like for example, to get your factory down at 17 supply, you need to cut an SCV or you need to cut from your racks. But besides that, you'll see they're always making SCVs, right? And here it's just idle for too long. It's still idle, right? So think about every second that goes that it's idle is just, right now we probably could have had 4 SCVs more than we have. But besides that, like, you're actually making a decent amount of workers, which is good. But it's really important to focus on this, I think. Academy Factory. Should also add an armory at some point, because you want to be able to make Goliaths in case this guy's making raids. But yeah, you're putting down two more factories, which is good. But these need to be faster. Do you know what I mean? They need to be faster, and we need to not be floating this much money. This factory is also idle, right? It's idle forever. Right? Still idle, right? Every second that passes and this is idle should be sending like signals in your brain like, okay, I need to fix this. You know what I mean? Both of these are idle, right? And look, we have money, we have everything. Okay, finally we're making a vulture, but this is still idle. Right? Finally we're researching something. Well, we also got siege, which is good, but still, this could be, like, I'm pretty sure we missed out on making a whole tank, maybe even 2 tanks from the idle time on this factory, right? So we could have 2 extra tanks here. Not to mention that these factories came in way late. So at 8 minutes, someone could easily be right now at like 60, 70 supply, and we're at 40 supply. Well, I hope, like, I'm not even trying to flame you, right? Like, but this is what you have to notice when you're looking at your replays. It's really important. Like, personally, when I look at my replays and I do mistakes like this, because everyone does, like, there's some times where you have units that are idle that aren't doing anything. Like, for example, you have vultures that are idle, or maybe one game for some reason you just weren't making units. Like, I've had a game recently that I played versus Nyokin, actually, where I just didn't make enough SCVs. I watched the replay and Nyokin had like 10 more SCVs than I did because my build was fucking trash. And then I looked at the replay, I looked at my build, and I'm like, every time I see these small things in my build, I'm like, okay, this I need to fix, this I need to fix. So especially as a newer player, I think this is the most important thing to focus on, is just keeping your money low, making sure you're always making SCVs, right? So again, there's huge idle time on this command center. To give you an idea, like, if you do factory expand with 2 command centers, you can get around 50 SCVs at 8 minutes. 50 SCVs at 8 minutes. If you don't cut SCVs and if you're always making SCVs, you get 50 SCVs at 8 minutes, right? And we're at 30 SCVs, okay? So we could have 20 more SCVs, and we could have we could probably, off those 20 SCVs, we could support like 7 factory in our base or something crazy like that, if that makes sense. So if I were you, like, I think for the most part, I watched the game, right? Like, I'm not talking on my ass. Like, you played well. Like, you played this game like an RTS, right? Like, you made units, you expanded, you added production as you expanded. You tried attacking where you saw him, you know, having bases. He made wraiths and BCs. You made the counter unit. Like, you're obviously good at RTS, right? Like, you have the fundamentals there. But especially playing StarCraft, which is a game that's so, like, it's so high level in its optimization. If I were to give you the biggest tip I can give you is just try and get more SCVs. Try and aim for like 40 something SCVs by this time, 8 minutes. And then try and keep your minerals and gas below like 500 each at all times, 400 each at all times. Even earlier, like even 300 each at all times. 400 each at all times, okay? Because 400 is like basically command center. Try and keep it below 400, right? At least for the first 8 minutes, 9 minutes. And then once you can do that consistently, well, first of all, you'll see that so this is what I would say. So focus on making SCVs, focus on making units to keep your money down. Stay on 2 base. No matter what you do, right? No matter what matchup, what situation you're in, stay on 2 base, make a bunch of units, and attack your opponent. Even this guy, right? He went to 3 base and you just expanded, which makes sense. But the thing is, you could just kill him with Tank Vulture or like Tank Goliath A move by making a lot of units. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. So the biggest, that's what I would say is focus on making units and workers off of 2 base. So at 8 minutes, you want to get like around 40, 45 SCVs, 44 SCVs, 46 SCVs, something like that. And then I don't even know what supply you're at 8 minutes usually. Try and be like at like 70 supply at 8 minutes, 80 supply at 8 minutes. And when you can do that consistently, then I don't know, send me another replay. Okay? If that makes sense. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you queue stuff. That's okay. Queuing is okay. Just make sure you, like, it's not it's a habit you'll get over, but it's really just important to make units, to make workers, and then it's important to keep your money down by constantly producing units off your factories. Okay? If that makes sense. I don't know if you're going to be satisfied with me telling you to do this, because maybe you're expecting it to be more like strategically focused, but trust me, like, these are the fundamentals of the game. Like, in a sense, it's like, it's hard to compare it to other things. Like, I think getting down these fundamentals is like learning how the pieces move in chess, because chess doesn't have that physical component. So you can kind of immediately talk about strategical ideas a bit. And I mean, here you clearly have the strategic element, because like I said, you understand how you expanded, you added production buildings, you're interacting with your opponent by scouting and attacking and shit. Like, you know what you're doing. But you really need, like, if you really want to improve, and the fastest way to improve is to just make sure that you get your SCV count up and you get your unit count up. Well, we can look through this, because at some point, I'll just fast forward. All right, look at this, right? So in the span of like 1 minute, we shoot up in money. So here we actually queued units. Okay, so 9 minutes. From 9 minutes to 10 minutes, we went up to 1K, and suddenly we queued 3 factories. So these factories, or 3 tanks. So these factories were idle for a whole minute. This command center was idle for a whole minute, right? And we just can't have that. I understand that you're attacking, and sometimes even pros will have stuff idling when they're controlling their units. But okay, so finally we spent. This is good. We're spending. But again, look, it's going back up. And it's going to keep going back up. And the other thing is, like, look at how much you're queuing in the factories. Like, I know I said queuing is okay, but at the same time, you want to think about adding more factories. Because look at how much money we have. Like, 12 minutes in, 1,500, right? this should never be the case. You should honestly never have over 1,000 minerals or 1,000 gas, period. At least until you're maxed. Right? 12 minutes, think about it. 12 minutes in TVP is the time, the max out time. 12 minutes. Like 12 minutes, a Terran is maxed in TVP. In TVT, you're not going to be maxed as fast, but you should definitely be getting closer to 100 supply at the very least. 12 minutes, right? Right? And again, look, there's idle time and 2K, 1K. Finally, we're adding another command center, but where are our factories, right? We can put down like 4 more factories, 5 more factories. Our armories are idle forever, right? And every minute that these are idle is just not good for us. We've been 75 supply for like 1 minute, 2 minutes. And we're still 76 supply. Okay, finally it's shot up, right? So let's just, I just want to make this very clear. Right, so at 12 minutes, we're 77 supply. And we're not even supply stuck, right? So 1 minute later, we shot up in supply. And units take like half a minute, 20 seconds, half a minute to build. So this really, like, we could be at 100 supply easily right now. If that makes sense, right? But finally, okay, we added factories, which is good, which is good. This is what I was saying. Except this should be way faster. This should be way faster, if that makes sense, right? And again, look, I'm gonna fast forward, and now again we're shooting up in minerals and resources and gas, but we're still 86 supply. And 86 supply, I mean, I know that you're fighting, so you're losing some units, but our supply is just not moving, whereas our economy has clearly increased from the early game. We're up on 3 base. We should be slowly increasing our supply, right? So at 15, what was it, like 14 minutes, 15 minutes? At 14 minutes, we were like 88 supply. And we're still like 88 supply. So it hasn't moved for a whole like 2 minutes now. And a lot of it has to do, look, these factories are totally idle the whole time. Look how many units finish, right? Like, so you can make like approximately like 2 vultures for every tank in production. So this tank finished, right? In the time that this tank took to be produced, we could have had 6 vultures, 8 vultures from these factories. So what do you have now? Popping out right now, we could have 16 supply more units. Anyway, so it goes without saying that we never want to get to 3K, 2K and not be maxed. Right? And again, okay, finally, so the whole time these were up, which I estimate would probably be around 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It took us around 5 to 6 minutes to start actually queuing around out of all of these factories. Anyway, I don't know if this makes sense, right? I'm just trying to illustrate the point that these are the problems, these are the issues we need to focus on right now. So I would recommend stay on 2 base, try and go up to 5, 6, 7 factory, and constantly produce out of those factories, and try and kill your opponent off of 2 base every game, no matter what matchup it is. TVZ, TVP, TVT, don't even expand. Fuck expanding, okay? Fuck expanding. Just make a bunch of factories off 2 base, and or racks in TV. Well, even in TVZ you could mech. Just make a bunch of fucking production buildings and try to kill your opponent off of 2 base. And go back to your replay and seriously take a look at how much idle time you have on your command centers, on your factories, and try to reduce that to 0. Literally 0. There should not be a fucking blip between. I mean, sometimes there will be, right? But I'm just saying, like, in principle, there shouldn't. What supply should you start your push at 2 bases? At least 80. At least 80. Mech really hard to pull off at Z versus Z at low MMR. Is it? Just make a lot of units. Literally just make a lot of units. Like, it sounds simple, but the better you get, trust me, if you follow this, right, and if you reduce the amount of time, so stay on 2 base, make sure you're always making workers, make sure you're always making units, and if you gradually get better at this, you will just start winning games as you attack people off of 2 base. And just try and end the game off of 2 base. That would be my recommendation for new players. I would actually even go, like, I would even go as far as to say, stick to 1 base. Do some, like, 2 factory. Let's say you're TVP. Do 2 factory, 3 factory all-ins until you never miss SCVs and until you never float minerals, or until your factories are always producing. And that's not going to take long to get good at that because it's just 1 base. So you might get bored, but just do it until you have mastered always making SCVs off that 1 command center and always making units off that 1 factory, and then move on to doing that same thing with 2 bases. And just try and end the game. It might not be what is considered meta, or it might not be what is, it might not be high level play. But I think you have to incrementally, like, no one is a 1 base cheese. I mean, no. So first of all, don't think about cheese. The cheese is not. It's not a. It's not a concept you should really think about, especially at low level. 1 base can honestly be played at the pro level. Like, you can play you can make a system, like a player. Okay, maybe, I don't know if at the pro level. Okay, let's see how I would best describe this. A player could get really good, could probably hit S rank easily, if they have a system from playing 1 base. If you have a system, if you develop a system, this is how StarCraft works, right? With builds and with play styles. People develop systems in their matchups, right? It could be, for example, TVZ. I open 2 Racks Academy every game, go into Factory, into Starport. Every game. Now that forces Zerg to play very low eco, because they can't just keep playing standard, because they have to react to you 1 basing. So from that knowledge, you can actually transition into maybe something like 2 bases. But it's like from a 1 base opening. Or you could stay on 1 base and try and end it. There's a way of playing even 1 bases that isn't necessarily cheese. Okay, you could have a system in place to play it. It's just not. It's not the most popular way to play because it's not the strongest way to play, but it's not, cheese. And that doesn't matter. Like I said, when you're a beginner, you can't think about the strategical side of StarCraft, okay? Just don't think about builds. Don't think about, like, the strategy. You really need to think about... You really need to think about just making units and making workers, if that makes sense. So grab a pre-made build order for you. Like, grab a pre-made build order and just make... I want to become strong, so start on 1 base. Yeah, start on 1 base, honestly. If you want to, start on 1 base. In TVZ, do something like... You can even do 2 fact in TVZ, but in TVZ, do 2 racks into Factory, into Starport. Okay? And try and do a Marine tank vessel push off of 1 base. In TVP, do 2 Factory. In TVT, do 2 Factory. Maybe add a 3rd Factory. And watch your replay. Once you see that you're always making SCVs off that 1 command center, and you're always making units off of the 2 factories that you're making, and you're comfortable with it, then move on to 2 base. You might not win doing 1 base. You might not win. You might win, you might not win. But that's besides the point. The point is to make workers and units and depots. That's the most important thing. You guys, like, please trust me on this. Don't think about the strategy of the game. Just think about the mechanical side of the game. It's like, let's say you play tennis, right? Because tennis is actually it's a really hard game to get into. Because if you have no technique, you're never going to hit the ball into the court, right? You have to focus on being able to hit the ball into the court before you start thinking about the game in a broader context, okay? And being able to produce constantly off of a very small amount of buildings is the most important thing. And then slowly expanding that until you don't have problems managing your units. So that's my recommendation, guys. But at the end of the day, what matters is just playing a lot. If you play a lot, you'll get better. So, for example, Simplord, like, I think watching your game, it was pretty good. Like, you were pretty good. And I have no doubt that if you keep playing, you'll improve. No matter how you choose to play. If you want to keep expanding, that's fine. But if you want my recommendation, I think you should just keep making, if you should play either 1 base or 2 base and just stay on fewer bases and make sure you spend your money. And you make sure you make workers. Are my factories hotkeyed or camera keyed? I use both. In the early game, all my productions are hotkeyed 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then in the late game, I use F keys. But you're not going to be able to macro off of hotkeys like I do. So don't worry about it. Use whatever hotkeys are comfortable for you. My recommendation is to have all your command centers hotkeyed, first of all, because it's going to be easier for you to get in the habit. Like, for example, use 5. Like, I used to use 5 and 6 for my command centers. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I go 5S, 6S, 5S, 6S, 5S, 6S. And I would never miss workers. And then I would have one hotkey for my production buildings. So like 7, for example, could be racks, 8 could be factory or something. But since they're all together, I double tap 1 and it goes to that. I use 4, 5, 6 for CC. That's really good, dude. That's really good. F keys for production, that's fine. Then stick to that. That's really good. That's really good. If you want to slowly add hotkeys, put 7, 8. Use 7 and 8 for maybe a racks or a factory, and then I think 9 and 0 you should get used to using for scans. But don't worry about having the optimal hotkey setup. Just worry about having a hotkey setup that you're comfortable with, that you enjoy playing with, and get better at it. There's literally no answer for your hotkeys. Like, there's no objectively better setup. I mean, that could be debatable, but it's really not important. What's important is to be comfortable with your hotkey setup. And even at the pro level, like, you'll see pros that play with very different hotkey setups. I mean, for example, Jadong doesn't even use 890. Like, he literally straight up does not even use 890. He's literally just not even using those hotkeys, which is like insane. But the dude was by far one of the best players at the game. Some Terran players use Flash's setup with production buildings. Some Terran players use the 5, 6, 7 fucking 4, 5, 6 command center setup. Like, Last doesn't use Flash's hotkeys, and they're all around the same fucking level, so it doesn't matter. It's like, at the end of the day, right, it's just about being comfortable with your setup, honestly. So please, like, don't think about too many things if you're new. Just think about making what's on this. Like, don't think about the meta stuff, right? Don't think about the meta stuff, and that includes hotkey setup. That includes strategy. Don't think about stuff that is pertaining, like, that floats around the game. Literally think about, I need to make workers off of Nexus, right? I need to make probes off of this Nexus. That's what you should really be thinking about. About what level do you think people execute their build at least decently? I would say I would say around probably B level. High B level. A level, I think high B, low A is when everyone starts executing their build properly. Before that, no one does. And even, like, yeah. Guys, I'm actually really... The one thing I hate about... there's some people, when they explain, they know how to keep it simple and succinct. But when I start explaining stuff, I start thinking about these minor points in my head, and it becomes like diarrhea, verbal diarrhea, because I try to mention all of these things instead of just cutting them out. So apologies if it comes out as a bit ranty. But anyway, I think if you're a new player, don't think about anything, just think about the game. How can I make units? Just focus on making workers and units, and everything else will come naturally. If that makes sense, right? Don't think about your hotkey setup. Just think about, I need to make workers. Not, oh, I need to make this hotkey setup work. If that makes sense. As soon as it's tied, discounting and adjusting optimally, it's more than mechanics, and it's very tough to learn in a single period. I mean, trust me, StarCraft is so much more than mechanics. It's so much more than mechanics. I have some friends that think that StarCraft, like friends that don't play StarCraft, and they think that StarCraft is just about mechanics. It's just, wow, and you hear this even in popular culture. Wow, if you're just faster, you outplay someone. Like, oh, this game's just about being fast. It's about being fast. Let me tell you, it fucking is not at all about being fast. This game is so much more strategy than it is mechanics. It's so much more decision making than it is mechanics. But you need to get to a certain level of execution before that starts mattering. There's a certain level of execution that will get you at this minimum level of strategy needed. Because before that, you can just win by making stuff, if that makes sense. And everyone who begins the game is in this fucking level. Yeah, you don't have to have a build. You just need to have a picture, strategy, and some checkpoints in it. Yeah, sure. Trying to keep notes about everything helps with it a lot. Yeah, that's like saying if you can step on the gas in the racing car. Anyway, you guys can make your own analogies. I don't know if what I'm saying is... I feel like I'm ranting a bit. But okay, so this is another game that Runny sent to me. TVP. So apparently this is a 1900 Protoss. So maybe in this game I can look at the build order a bit more. But I'm going to try and look at it really... I'll look at this game fast to begin with. And then I'll go back and try and figure some points to focus on. I'll try and make some like YouTube videos or something that I'll actually, because I want to make YouTube videos at some point, just talking about StarCraft and stuff like that, like maybe stuff like Day 9, but maybe a different kind of format. And it'll give me an opportunity to actually write them out or write my thoughts out so I can actually get them succinctly across instead of ranting, but hopefully we'll do that at some point. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Okay. Do you know Vibe, Lawless, C2? He's got... Yes, Vibe and I are actually... We used to be really good friends. We were on the same team in StarCraft 2 when it came out. So I knew him way before he was a streamer. Tip, no one, don't place your turret. No one near your mount card. You can see inside. Okay. Yeah, I'm terrible. You're spinning tons of good info. It's on your viewers to take notes and organize all the nuggets for themselves to make it more digestible. That's kind to say. I do think that I still need to put in effort to make it understandable, but I don't think Bronze to Masters would work for Brood War, at least not as cleanly. Yeah, it's a bit different. There's fewer players, for sure. That could work, but like it would be. I would not want to do that. It sounds pretty boring. It would be a bunch of face roll games. But maybe for some people, I'm not gonna lie. The thing, I understand the draw of like these Bronze to Masters series. It's something similar happened to me when I was just watching this highlight of like Flash laddering. It's like literally a highlight of him playing ladder games and winning and getting to rank 1. And it's like, it shows just a bunch of, like, he's literally just winning every single game, like at any rating. In any fucking situation. There's so many games I was like, dude, if this was me, I'd be dead. And just watching him destroy all those games puts it into perspective, like, okay, this game is really much more about just being more skilled than your opponent than it is about anything else. And he's just outskilling people, like even at really high S levels, right? And that puts it into perspective where it shows you that there's a solution, like there's a solution to climbing. You're not just stuck. And I think that's important for people to remember. Works. The way Vibe does it is just underlining which fundamental scenes for each. That's cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check his some of his. I haven't really been looking too much at his content, but it'd be good inspiration, I guess, to making. The one thing is, I feel like there's definitely interest in Brood War, but there's just no content for it. So, and I mean, some of the content. I mean, Day 9 made some solid content for it, but I think Day 9 also has kind of a different approach because it's much more like theoretical, and it's much more like sort of talking about some concepts, and it didn't strike me as being too particularly practical. Like, you can tell, I mean, I'm pretty sure that he ladders. Like, Day 9, I think he plays Brood War, like, on the low key. I think he definitely plays from time to time. But I feel like his information, it doesn't come from like someone who's playing the game actively, if that makes sense. Like, I try and give you guys some really practical stuff to focus on, like just from a player perspective, not from like the overall like strategical concepts of how the matchups work and why it works that way. But anyway, let's actually look at this replay. So far, okay, so since Runny, I think you're actually a pretty decent level, so I'll be a bit more nitpicky about your build. If you have this bunker up, you don't need these 2 Marines. You don't need this bunker. You don't need this Marine. You don't need this Marine. 3 Marines can kill a Dragoon, right? 3 Marines can defend against a Dragoon. So there's 2 ways of going about this. If you put down your bunker before your command center, then sticking to 2 Marines is fine, and this bunker is meant to defend against the 1 Dragoon pushing. If you go up to 3 Marines, you can actually put down your command center before you put down your bunker, because those 3 Marines are going to defend against the Dragoon. Right now, practically, what's more trendy is to just put down your bunker right away, because this also defends against early Zealots, because Protoss has started doing something like Zealot Dragoon pushes early on, instead of just the Dragoon, and that Zealot Dragoon actually completely demolishes that like 3 Marine expand or whatever. So in this case, if you're going to build this bunker like this, just build the bunker and have 2 Marines. Don't make these 2 Marines. And this is 2 This is 100 minerals that we're delaying our command center by, and it's 2 extra supply that's taken away from really building SCVs, and our depot is going to be a bit late. So everything is a bit late because of this. So finally we put down the command center, but look, notice how our depot hasn't even started, and we're like supply blocked. And we still don't have money, right? So this build is already, it's very slowed down by the fact that we made the 2 extra marines that were just not necessary. Oh, I think you cancel 1 marine, which is good. Okay, so you cancel at least 1 marine, which is really good. But I would say you don't even need to go up to 3. If you make 3 marines and 1 bunker, it's actually going to hiccup your build quite a bit. This guy wants straight DTs. So what we're doing, okay, the one thing is this machine shop is really, really delayed. You really need to get this down ASAP. Like, I would say get the machine shop down before you make your depot and stuff. So again, our build is a bit hiccuped here. Somehow you have a 6th sense and you build an eBay, even though you... Okay, so you didn't see his expansion. This is actually normal expansion timing. But we built the eBay anyway. This game, this eBay is good. Most games it's not. And if we actually made our machine shop faster and started mines earlier, we can easily defend against DTs across the map with vulture mines, if that makes sense. So in a sense, this is kind of overkill, but you really need to make sure you scout this nexus on time so that we avoid making this eBay. I played him before. I guess he always goes for DTs. Okay. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, so it turns out that the eBay was fine this game because he went DTs. But if our build is a bit cleaner, if we get the mines on time, and if we scout this nexus, we'll be safe against DTs regardless. Because we're going to have mines laid out in front of his base or here. And we'll be able to see this, and we'll have time to make more vultures to mine this up. So that's... I don't make it normally. That's okay. But it's fine. It's fine. Like, I do understand that you didn't scout his natural on time. So we put down this eBay, which is correct, because you need to have some defense against DTs. But at this point, this turret here is totally unnecessary. I mean, I guess you don't know if he's going, like, because you saw the Nexus, and this is way too early for DT drops. First of all, if they expand like this, Reaver drops isn't going to come until like 6:30ish, and DT drops even later, like 7:30 or some shit like that. So if you really want to be safe, just put down Academy Armory, and then that'll give you scans, and you'll have the, so once you scan his base, then you'll have armories to build Goliaths to defend against drops. What is eBay timing if you don't get it here? Usually after you take your third, after you put down your third command center. So 2 factories, this is okay. Everything else is okay. If you start your armor, you want to start your second gas. This is really important, especially on a map like Circuit Breaker, because on Circuit Breaker you only have 2 geysers. And in this situation, even if you start stockpiling gas early on, so you won't be able to necessarily spend it right away, it's actually important because eventually you'll be able to spend it all. And it's really what determines your factory count and your tank count. So this gas you want to get early, especially on this map where you don't have a third gas. Mines would be really in time with that fast DT. I doubt it, but not sure. Yes, it would be ready in time. These DTs are fucking cross spawn, dude. Like across the map. Okay. If you go straight, even after the first vulture, like, yes, if this guy proxy DTs, he would get them in your base on time. But you should be able to know that he's proxying DTs, right? And in this game, like, if he has a Nexus going here, he's not proxying DTs. And he did have a Nexus going here, but we didn't scout it. So that's a problem. But the C-Base fine. It's fine. It's not gonna. This isn't gonna lose you games. It's not gonna lose you games. Okay. It's just a point of optimization. And our scanners are late. So we knew it was DTs by now, right? He like ran in some shit. I didn't even notice. No, we didn't know. Did we know? Oh, we did. We knew he was going DTs. What the fuck? Wait, you're a god. You actually... Okay, I'm so retarded, man. I can't believe I just... Okay, I get it. Then I get it. But actually, if you scout this, you don't need to put down this eBay. So, since we actually saw that he was going DTs, like, right away... Just get your machine shop right away and get mines. Shit, my bad, dude. Holy crap. I'm so sorry. You should have said something. I'm really sorry. This is fine, but you can actually just defend with mines and get a early academy, and then just make a bunch of vultures. Because when they go DTs this fast, they won't have dragoons, and you can actually get map control with a bunch of vultures. And at this point, because he went DTs, there's two things you can do. Is you stay on one add-on, because you don't actually need to make that many tanks. You can stay on one add-on, add like 2 or 3 factories, and go into huge vulture production and get vulture upgrades to like get map control. And you can either try and kill him like that, or just take a fast third. Or take a fast, or put down your command center, and then put down a bunch of factories, make a bunch of vultures. Couldn't he snuck zealots in to drag mines? He can only have so much, man. Like, he can't have everything. Like, okay. So this is how I would play against this. I would just go 2 factory like you did. And if you go 2 factory, like, think about it. This guy, he already made 1 dragoon, which we saw. And he expanded. Where's he going to get the money to get that many zealots to demine you? No, eu não pot acum. To understand what Protoss can, I can't have a particular time. I understand that, and no one's gonna give you the correct answer to that. Okay, that's something that you have to figure out for yourself. That's something that a player knows by virtue of playing a lot. It's not an answer that's out there for you. Right? Like, if Flash were to sit there and tell you like literally his algorithm in a game, okay, first of all, some players don't even have that algorithm mapped out to like timings. Like, some players don't even think like that. They don't think like, okay, 5 minutes they need to have this, 6 minutes they need to have this, 7 minutes they need to have this. It's literally something that you know from playing a bunch. Like, I'll do one specific build a lot of times, and let's say my scan always comes at this time in my build, and when I scan, I get conditioned to seeing, I see this when I scan and they play this. I see that when I scan and they play like this. And over the course of playing like a bunch of games under those circumstances, you train your brain to like recognize those patterns. It's not something that, it's not like an answer that's out there that you can just study and know before having been exposed to it. So when Protoss does these like really, in this case this guy went Stargate, so this is like a really clowny build, but when they do stuff like DT rush off one gate and then try to expand, they can only have so much. They can only have so much. And in general, how can I this? It's a hard concept to explain. But in general, as you start to play more cleanly, as you start to play more efficiently, as you start to near the like perfect execution curve, right? The other player has to mirror this. And if they're all inning you, it's going to feel like much more of a struggle to defend that all in. And if they're not all inning you, it's going to not feel like it's that much pressure. So the point is, the better you get at executing stuff, the less problems you're going to have dying to random stuff and not knowing what they have. But it's like it's kind of a hard concept to explain, but it's I know what example I would use to explain that, but I don't want to go into this long. You have to actually know the probabilities. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so, but overall, like, okay, we saw the DT, and like right now, our approach should be to, like, our decision making should be to just expand and get a lot of vultures. Because when they have DTs like this, they have a smaller army. They don't have obs. So you have to remember, when they have DTs, they don't have obs. Their obs is much later. They don't have as many dragoons, so vultures become much more effective on the map, and they can assert a lot of map control. And we can use these two facts to either do a fast 2-base push, or to expand. If that makes sense. Fuck, man. Actually, these replay reviews it's so much harder because I'm really bad at this. I'm really bad at like giving succinct info. But besides that, this is good. We're making a bunch of units or SCVs. See, here our command centers are always working, our factories are always working, our money is down. So you can see Runny is actually like a good player. But here we get our money is a bit high. We could easily have a third command center, right? Why are we banking this much money? Right? Our third command center could have started a long time ago. Okay, we're waiting to put down factories because we're bottlenecked by the gas. But even if we put down factories, we still have enough money to put down a command center. So this command center could have been finished by now. It could have been started minutes ago and it could have been finished by now. So there's no reason not to have a command center right now. Yeah, process all the thoughts. The thing is, like, I have a very clear picture of a lot of the concepts in my head, but I have such a terrible time explaining them. And I have a fucking degree in philosophy, guys. That's literally what I did for years. Like, that's what I studied for years, was literally just trying to fucking verbalize like abstract ideas, and I'm still terrible at it. So I think it was 2 basing, so figured I might as well delay CC. But yeah, but there's a difference between, so see, you're thinking strategically here, but like our build needs to be efficient, right? It needs to be efficient. And when you watch the replay, you have to look at this, like, why am I not spending these minerals? Like, in that moment, I could have so much more shit. And the reality is, even if he's 2 basing, you can still get a faster third. Like, you don't have, your third doesn't have to be behind Protost's third. There's some, the only 2 bases that are a threat to you in TVP is usually when they open Dragoons, right? And then they open a bunch of gateways, and then they have the option of putting down a Citadel, making shuttles, making a bunch of zealots, and busting you. But in this game, he opened DTs. The only other thing he could be doing, there's 2 things he could be doing DTs. Either taking a third behind it, adding a bunch of gateways, or going straight Arbiter. And usually it's going to be going straight Arbiter.
in which case you're not getting busted. So DTs are rarely, if ever, going to lead to you getting busted as you take your third. They might lead to you getting busted with this arbiter timing with a stasis or with a recall, but that has nothing to do with taking your third. That hits after your third timing, if that makes sense. I'm thinking too hard. I'm just retarded, man. I have no idea how to like succinctly explain these things. You tend to be scared by 2-base ARB. In what way? I think everything else, by the way, is good. Like, I actually don't think the biggest thing is we were floating a bunch of money for no reason. I think we could have easily had, like, we should have had this base up and running, and we could have more factories by now. We could have more stuff by now, like 100%. So, because this guy also, he 2-based, right? But he still got a faster third than us, which, and we're not pushing with this. So either, if you're going to play like this, just don't even, yeah, just go up to 7 factories and max. So this is fine. Like, you can, this is, you know, Flash did like 2-base all-ins for a while with 7 factories, but we shouldn't be getting surprised by this Arbiter move out. You were scouting, like, and the thing is, like, you kept scanning to try and find his third, and you only now found his third, but the reality is we have these vultures that were idle the whole game, right? They were idle the whole game. Like, starting from minute 8, we have these vultures here that should be out on the map 100%. They should be out on the map. Just looking for what's going around, you know, what's going on. Like, look, they're still chilling here, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We have absolutely no idea what we're playing against. So again, they're just idle, right? And then suddenly, out of nowhere, this Protoss comes in and stasis half our army, even though we have EMP. You know, that shouldn't happen. We need to have save scans for tech instead of expansions. So, oh my god, dude. This is how I would have played this game, right? If you see Protoss going DTs and you successfully expand, you can actually go into vultures early on. Don't make as many tanks. Okay, if you go into vultures early on, you get to scout the map, which is the most important thing. And you start banking resources to add more factories if you want to go for a push, or you get a third faster. If you want to go for a push, build your academy, put the comsats down early, and start saving scans. If you run around with your vultures, there's only one thing this guy could be teching to, and it's arbiters, period. Like, he's not going to do anything else, especially with DTs, because it makes sense. He already has the Templar Archives. What your job is to do is to just see what time he expands at. That's it. So, I don't know if that makes sense. But you should never get caught off guard by these kinds of attacks, for sure. Right? Like, this should never happen where we're completely blind and we're not taking a third and we're just kind of sitting in base. We lost our timing. This guy already, like, this guy just attacked into us. Yeah. And it's really mostly because we just don't have stuff spawning it out on the map. But besides that, this is really good. Like, your macro is good. In terms of, you know, you stop making SCVs because you're on 2-base, and that's fine. because we have really good saturation. But this is the only thing, like, either you're going for 2 base all in, or you're going for this 3rd base. Like, this is an in-between that makes absolutely no sense, and all it does is it allows this guy to get away with stuff that he was not supposed to get away with, right? Which is, he teched off 2 base and then actually got a 3rd, and he's not even facing a big push from you. So you really can't, you need to either commit to going to 2 base, to the 2 base push, which means you go up to 7 factory and push around 170 supply, maybe 12 minutes in, 12:30 with vessels, or you take this 3rd way earlier, way earlier. Okay. So, fuck, that was terrible, man. I need to get way better at this. I hope that helped. But besides that, it was good. Who wins that game? The Protoss one. I mean, I can look at the replay so you guys see exactly what happens. We push too late. The Protoss has too much of an economy, and we don't have an economy at all. And we pushed so late that we got attacked, lost too many units, and then our push was never going to be strong because the Terran push is only good once you get, like, at 170 supply, right? 170 supply and higher. That's when the Terran army really starts to come together and starts smashing Protoss armies. But here we took this trade here because half our army got stasis. We, instead of having, so now we're pushing at a time where we could have been on 4 bases and we could have pushed earlier than this with max supply. So we're pushing really late, but we're only on 3 base and we're 150 supply. And it turns out 150 supply Terran versus 150 supply Protoss is actually really bad for Terran. Sure, we siege late and stuff here, which is another thing, but these lower army sizes always benefit Protoss for sure. And anyway, this guy has like 10 gateways, and I mean, our eco is pretty... We can probably still play this game out. Well, this was a terrible engagement. Like, maybe this engagement could have been better, but I think there's so much stuff to fix before this that there's no point in focusing on this. How do you even move? It's really hard, man. It's really hard. Also, I know, like, if you ever submit replays, I know it can be maybe a bit intimidating having someone, like, critique your play. I hope you don't take it personally, that's for sure, because the point is, when I say stuff, like, that's very specifically aimed at you, the point isn't to, like, flame you or to make you feel bad about how you're playing. The point is just to highlight what you should be thinking about and how you could improve at it. But thanks to you both for submitting 2 replays. I really need to get better. I'm not really used to that. I'm not used to what's it called? Like, reviewing people who I don't really know people's replays, because I don't know what level they're at. I don't know what concepts they're thinking about. And the thing is, like, everyone has an idea of how to play StarCraft, and that idea is not necessarily wrong. Like, you can make anything work, and I don't want to shit on that. I have my own understanding of the game, but I don't want to impose that onto someone. So I try to really, like, I try to see what you're going for, and I try to, like, work around that. But in that game specifically, I think I think our early game could improve, right? Our build order could improve. Like, we didn't need that eBay. We didn't need the 3rd Marine. Our command center could have gone down much faster. But then besides that, we need to expand to our 3rd or commit to the 2 base. That's it. But yeah, Ronnie, you played well, dude. Like, it's not you're good. It's that matchup's hard, and you have to really, like, execute well.